Hello students, welcome to Nandini ma'am's English and Social classes. So today's class is about agreement of verb with the subject. Today we are going to learn about agreement of verb with the subject, and which is a very essential for writing and speaking good English. Not only it is essential for the school students, but also for competitive examinations. This is also required because most of the time we make errors while we speak or write. Now, first of all, you should know what is the meaning of agreement of verb with the subject. So let us come to that point. What is agreement of verb with the subject? So for this we have to look back here. Now a verb must agree with the subject. That means it must go hand in hand. Okay? The verb and the subject must go hand in hand. There should be no error in it while writing, okay, as well as speaking. Now, a verb must agree with the subject in number and person. It must agree in number and person. Suppose
If the subject is singular, then the verb will also be singular.
and if it is plural, the verb will also be plural, like you can see over here. So now, a singular subject will start with a singular verb. Now, what is a singular verb? By singular verb, we mean the S form of the verb. By singular verb, we mean the S form of the verb. Okay? So, when it represents all singular number and we add S or ES to the base verb. So a singular subject will always take a singular verb. For example, the boy walks down the lane. The boy is singular, so the verb is also singular. Whereas a plural verb takes the base form of the verb. Okay, now if you mean what is the base form of the verb, the base form of the verb is that the root verb, that is without any additional letter in it, without adding anything to it. So if I write a sentence like the boys walk down the lane, here the boys is plural and we are using the base verb. So now let us come to the rules. We have so many rules regarding this agreement of verb, and which is applicable for class 9 and 10 students. You have it in your syllabus in the CBSE. So let us say there is rule number 1. We are coming to now rule number 1. So most of the time the common errors that we make while writing is that we make the verb to agree with the number. Okay, we actually make it agree with the number and not with the proper subject. Actually the verb should agree with the subject. Okay, so the common error is that you can see it in these sentences. See, we suppose I write here, or is an example, the quality of the mangoes. The quality of the mangoes was not good. So most of the time what we do, error we do is whenever we see mangoes, we put here where. But we have to agree with the subject. And what is our subject? The quality. Our subject is the quality. So the proper sentence will be the quality of the mangoes was not good. Okay, but the common error is that we make it to agree with the number, that is mangoes. Okay, so these are the common errors that we make and we do not even realize it while writing. We find that is okay. Okay, now you see we can give another example.
His knowledge of Indian vernaculars is far beyond the common. His knowledge of Indian vernaculars is far beyond the common.
So vernaculars, but I'm writing a raise because I'm agreeing with his knowledge. What is the subject? The subject is his knowledge. Okay, so this is the common error we most often without realizing also we do it. So come to now the next rule. When two or more, two or more nouns, singular nouns or pronouns are joined by and. When two or more singular nouns or pronouns are joined by and, then the verb is plural. Okay, then the verb is plural. Now, for example, iron and zinc are useful metals. So here we are joining two singular subjects with and the verb is plural. Okay, he and I, that is two pronouns, he and I are playing. This is another example. So that is another rule. So you should always keep it in mind when you join two or more singular subjects with and, the verb will be plural. It should be very, very clear to you without any confusion. So whenever you are writing, you have it in your mind that, okay, I'm joining two or more subjects, a singular subject, so I have a plural verb. Is it clear, students? Okay, now we move on to the next rule. Now, what is the next rule? Now, suppose if the noun suggests one idea to the mind, or refer to the same person or thing. Be very, very clear in it. If the nouns refer to the same thing, that is, it suggests same idea to the mind or one idea to the mind, or it refers to the same person or thing, though it is two different nouns but referring to the same thing. So then the verb is singular. Okay, so make it very clear, this rule, otherwise you might forget. So you see now, bread and butter refers to the same thing, each one complements the other. So bread and butter is my favorite food, or is his only food, whatever you say. So why is? Because it's referring to the same thing. Now suppose I'm talking about persons now. Okay, I'm talking about person, that is the director and the producer is dead. Now see, director and producer, they're referring to the same person. So the verb is also singular. So is it clear? Whenever you refer to the same person or thing, so what happens is the verb becomes singular. It does not become plural. Okay, there are so many examples. You can even get it that, slow and steady wins the race. Time and tide waits for none. These are other examples where they refer to the same idea to the mind. Okay, so now we move on to the next rule. Be very, very clear in this, and there should be no error in writing, because most of the time you might mix it up and you think that there are two nouns, so it is plural, but actually it's not so. But you know one thing, if I write the director and the producer, so that means I'm referring to two different persons, that it can be plural. The director and the producer, two different persons. Got it? Okay. So now come to the next rule. The next rule is words joined to a singular subject. Words joined to a singular subject, okay, with with or as well as. With or as well as always takes a singular verb. Okay, words joined to a singular subject with or as well as. So whenever you see some subjects are joined with, with a singular subject. Okay, when you join words with a singular subject with or with as well as, so you always use a singular verb. For example, the house with its content. The house with its contents was burned. Okay, not where, because we are joining it with. Okay, now, so supposing I'm joining two words, two nouns with as well as, then also it will be singular. See,
Sugar as well as salt has fallen in price.
has fallen in price and not have fallen, because I'm joining it with as well as. Let us take another example. The principal with his teachers is to be present and not, are to be present, because we are joining these teachers, the other subject, with the proper subject, that is the singular subject, teacher. Okay, so whenever you join words to a singular subject, whenever you join words to a singular subject with or as well as, the verb will be singular and not plural. Okay, so now two or more, we come to another rule. It's over here. There you see two or more singular subjects. When you join two or more singular subjects with or nor, remember, joining two singular subjects, two singular, with or nor, then also the verb will be singular. Okay, now for example, either the boy or the girl has been there, not have been there, because we are joining two or more singular subjects with or with nor. Neither food nor water was to be found there. Neither food nor water. So this is another rule which you should always keep in mind whenever you join two singular subjects with or with nor, the verb will be singular. Got it? I think it is very clear to you, and you should always keep in mind whenever you write that you should always remember it. Now another thing, which is but now see, I have told you we are joining two singular subjects with or nor, but you can also join plural, when one of the subject joined by or nor. Supposing you are joining by or nor and one of the subject is plural. Previously we have said both the subject is singular. Now I am telling we are joining two words, but one of them is plural. So when one of the subject joined by or nor is plural, then the verb must be plural and the plural subject should be placed nearest to the verb. Okay, got it clear? Again I am repeating, when one of the subject is plural joined by or nor, and the verb must be now plural, and the plural subject should be placed nearer to the verb. It should be nearer to the plural subject. Okay, now see, neither the principal, now we are coming to the example, neither the principal nor the teachers. So here one of the subject is singular, another one is plural. Now where will be the verb? The verb will be nearer to the plural subject and the verb will also be plural. Now teachers, so I am putting here are. Neither the principal nor the teachers are present. Okay, so this is another rule. Now you understood, when one of the subject is plural, the verb will be plural and the verb will be placed before the plural subject. So now there is so many things regarding this or nor, So now come to another rule, when the subject joined by or nor are of different person. It can be singular, it can be plural. The verb agrees with the nearest one. The verb will agree with the nearest. That is, either he or I am mistaken, because I am agreeing with the subject nearer to it. So this is another. Another thing you should always bear in mind, either, neither, each, everyone, many, all these words must be followed by a singular verb and not with a plural verb. So this is, whenever you write, you should always remember. Like every one of the prisons is full. Every one of the prisons is full. So many a man has done so. Many a man has, not have. So neither of the two men was very strong. So this is another. Now another thing which is important is that two nouns. You see another rule. Two nouns qualified by each or every, even though connected by and. Suppose you say, oh, you have gotten in another rules that I've told you, when you join two subjects with and you feel that the verb should be plural because I'm joining it by and. But it is not so in this case, because we are using it each, every. Even though you are connecting it by and, then also the verb will be singular. For example, every boy and every girl was given a packet of sweets. Because I'm using here every boy and every girl. Though I'm joining it by and, but still the verb will be singular and not plural. Okay, so is it clear? Actually, there is another rule, like some of the nouns you may get confused, which may seem to be plural in form. But they are singular in meaning. So maybe they seem to be plural when you write it with an S, but actually it is singular. So therefore it will take a singular verb. The news is true, not are true. Though by looking at news you may think it is plural, but it is not so. Okay, politics is a branch of social science. Okay, so now there are some nouns which are singular in form, but they are plural in meaning. Though they may seem to be singular, but they are in meaning they are plural. So they will take a plural verb. Okay, supposing 1 dozen cost 100 rupees. 1 dozen cost 100 rupees. Doesn't seem to be singular, but actually it's plural. So it will take a plural verb, cost, without the S, because though it may seem to be singular, but it is not so. Its meaning is plural. Now there is another rule regarding the collective noun. You know, collective noun takes a singular verb because it is a collection of a whole. Suppose the class is shouting because it is a collective noun. When the collection, it is singular noun when the collection is thought of as a whole. But it will be plural when the individuals of which it is composed, are thought of separately. When the individual of which it is composed are thought of separately, like, see, a herd of cattle is grazing, is, because herd, collection of cattle. But if we say the jury was divided in their opinion, it will be wrong. Though jury is a collection, but now when they are divided, I am talking of each member separately. So what shall I write? I shall write the jury were divided. The jury were divided in their opinion, because I am talking of each of the members of the jury separately. So did you get it? Collective noun is not always, not always a singular verb. Because when I'm talking of separately, when we talk separately of the members of the jury or the members of the committee, then we use plural verb instead of singular. But when we speak of as a whole, so then it is singular. And you should know that the verb should always agree with its subject in number and person. So now come to another rule. Now when the plural noun is the proper name, sometimes a plural noun is a proper name of some single object, then also the verb will be singular because it is the name of a single subject. You see, the Arabian Nights, the Arabian Nights is everyone's favorite. So why is, though it is nights, but it represents a single object, a single book. So that is why we use, suppose Gulliver's Travels. So it will be is written by, not are written by, because it is a single book. Okay, now the United States has a big army. So United States, so it is plural in form but singular in meaning, because the plural noun here represents single object. Okay, so it should be very, very clear in it, because though the subject seems to be plural, but it is not so. Now we come to another very, very important, rule like subject-verb agreement is that when the noun denotes a specific quantity or amount considered as a whole, the verb is generally singular. Always remember, when the plural noun denotes some specific amount or quantity considered as a whole. Now suppose you write 10 miles is a long distance. 10 miles we are considering as a whole. So it is, not are. Okay, 10,000 rupees is a big amount. Okay, we are taking the amount as a whole, so it is singular. 3/4 of the city is in ruins. Whenever you see 1/4, 3/4, half of the city or half of the thing is always singular, because we are taking some specific amount as a whole. So, students, there are many such rules, and we should follow while writing and speaking proper English. So, students, if you find this video helpful and have been able to understand the concept, please consider subscribing to the channel, press the bell icon so that you can be notified whenever I upload a new video. And please, please do not forget to like, comment, and share my video among your peers and friends so that they can also be benefited with this concept. Thank you.